Welcome to the You Were Designed for Greatness podcast. Each week we will bring you inspiring tips, stories, and ideas to help you be all that you can be, discovering your greatness. Featuring Donna Tashton. Donna is a transformational life and health coach, a highly sought-after public speaker, and the founder of Vibrant Living. She has helped hundreds find a better life, free of stress and living the greatness they were truly designed for. And now, your host, Donna Tashton.
This is Donna Tashton, and I would like to welcome you to podcast number 34. Today, I am excited about a new friend I have met through Inforum, and her name is Alison Kinsman. Did I say that right?
You did.
All right.
Most people want to put a G. They call us Kingsman. So.
Kinsman, yes. So welcome, Alison. I wanted to have a little bit of a conversation and let people get to know you a little bit. And then we've got some juicy stuff to dive into. So tell the listeners about yourself.
Sure. I am a newer real estate agent, which was a job change for me in the last couple of years. I have kind of a long, not extensive background, but I've done a few different things with public relations and events here in Grand Rapids, but decided to take a job change. I am a graduate of Grand Valley. I am have been married for almost 20 years, so excited to celebrate that next year. My husband and I, we have 3 wonderful daughters, 2 in high school, 1 on her way to a teenager, and we have a really amazing dog that's part of our family too. So just happy to be here and where I am in my life and on this new adventure.
So you grew up on the east side of the state, and did you have a happy, idyllic childhood?
For the most part, my parents got divorced when I was 2. So I grew up living with my dad and my brother for about 6 years before he got remarried. My mom got remarried a few times throughout my childhood after my dad. So it was difficult having to kind of go every other weekend to visit my mom, just because, it kind of disrupts what you have going on. Mm-hmm. You get used to being somewhere and then you kind of like go away for a week and then you come back. And so, but I would say for the most part, I felt loved, I felt cared for. I had great friends. So even though it wasn't kind of your nuclear family that, might have happened back in the 50s, it was still a great foundation to be able to grow into a well-adjusted adult, I would say.
And I love the way you talk about your real estate business and what is important to you about working with your clients when they buy and sell a home.
Yes, I am a self-proclaimed people lover. I love to get to know people. I love to work with people. I like to know what makes them tick, which actually helps a little bit, obviously, when they're looking for a house or listing their house. And for me, having sold and bought a few homes and since we've, been married and growing our family, I like to look back and think about the memories that were made in that house, that were created in that house. And that's what, when I help people list their house or go to buy a house, we talk about that. We talk about, what are you looking for? Think about everything you're going to do over here, and you can put your Christmas tree over here. And oh my gosh, think about all the entertaining you can do here. And, envision the backyard with a fire pit and hosting friends over. And so for me, it's not necessarily about, how many bedrooms and bathrooms, but how can you make it a house and envision it? And so for me, it's more, let's look at it a little bit from an emotional standpoint as well as, the bones of the house. And so one of the things I talk about when I talk about with my clients is it's more than just a house. It's a foundation of memories. And so you may be leaving all of these memories behind you that you'll carry with you, but think about all these amazing memories that you're going to be building in your new house. I just closed a house with some clients. They're getting ready to have their second baby. So I'm thinking, you're going to bring your daughter home here, and she's going to have her first birthday here, and think about all the friends she's going to have over here. And, and so when you go to sell that house, you're going to have all these warm, amazing memories of your time there. And that's what I want to capture when we think about selling or buying a home.
Awesome.
It's all relationship.
It's all relationship. And I love the memories part of that all, because really that's the things that we remember growing up from childhood, is when it wasn't necessarily the fabulous vacation. It could have been just the playing in the leaves. It's the making those memories in every situation in our life. So I love that applied to real estate, is really the relational part in making memories. That's just beautiful. I loved that when you shared it. I wanted to share that.
Yeah, I can't wait.
It's awesome. And with all of the things that you've learned, you've had different jobs over your lifetime and recently became a realtor. So welcome to the entrepreneurship of life. It can be challenging. I often say about being an entrepreneur is there is no ceiling. We can make tons of money, or we could have nothing.
Right.
So there's no limit, but it can go low too. So
yes. That is one of the downfalls of it, yeah. But there's so many more things that I think about with it. And so not only working with people and helping them achieve the American dream and everything that can come with it, but I looked at it from a personal standpoint as to what it allows for me as a wife and a mother,
right,
and a businesswoman.
Right.
And so for me, having my own business and having 3 daughters, I think is a great opportunity for them to see what they can achieve as a woman, if they put their mind to it. Yes, I'm not using the degree that I graduated with, but everything, my college degree and every job that I had leading up to this only benefits me from where I am today.
Yep.
And so taking a risk, taking a chance on yourself, I want them to know that they can achieve what they want to achieve, first of all. And second of all, I really liked the fact that I could set my schedule for my kids. You have a lot of people these days who work, they work to live. It's like they miss things, and they want to climb the ladder and they want to get higher and higher. And that's great. But you also have to think about at what cost does that come to you?
Right.
And that was one of the things that my husband and I talked about all along. I stayed home for 7 years because that was important to me to raise our girls. Mm-hmm. And it was difficult financially, right? You don't go on dates. And then you think about, okay, I got to be really skimpy on my groceries and I got to watch this and I got to watch that. But I'm grateful that I was able to do that.
Right.
And now I have a job that I can say, you know what, I cannot, can we see the house Sunday because I have a soccer game on Saturday? And majority of the time, unless it's the spring market and things are crazy and we got to go, my clients, they understand that, and it's setting expectations with my clients.
Right.
I'm never going to get these years back with my girls. I have a daughter who's a junior, literally have 1.5 years left with her and she's gone. And I don't want to miss these moments with her. Right. And, when my girls think back on their life, they're going to remember that their parents were at this and their parents were at that. And, not, oh, my mom was always at work or my mom was always on the phone or my mom was never there. And that's just how I knew how I wanted to run my, kind of run our household and be there for my kids. And this is a great opportunity to do that. And I'm extremely grateful for it.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. Being able to make memories and at least having the freedom to feel like I can make a decision if I want to show the house and how that will all work when I was also a realtor. So with all the things that you've gone through in your life, what's one big challenge that you've had?
My challenge is a challenge that I've put on myself. And that is trying to be perfect.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Trying to be the perfect mom and the perfect wife and the perfect businesswoman. And just now, excuse me, in the last couple of years, realizing that and how I can change that. I think part of it is growing up in the family dynamic that I grew up in, always wanting people to be happy, having divorced parents and going from house to house and the challenges that come with that. I'm a people pleaser, and that has been difficult for me. I set very high expectations for myself. I always have. I don't ever want to fail, but I don't take a lot of risk, or I have to make sure that I really weigh it before I do it. So I'm trying to change that too. Like, don't be so planny, and enjoy your life. So I feel, I'm 43. So I feel like when I hit 40, 38, 39, 40, I really realized what was super important to me and what I could let go, and who I am and what my worth is. And I've said no a lot more than I used to. I used to say yes to everything because I wanted to please everybody. And then I took on so much. And I think now being able to say no, or, that doesn't work for me, or this doesn't work for me. That expectation has kind of been lifted off myself. I've learned how to start giving myself a little bit more grace. And that I'm not perfect. I knit and crochet, which is, those are hobbies of mine when I have time. And I read somewhere, or somebody told me, I was trying to get help with a mistake that I made in a scarf. And this woman told me that when they make Oriental rugs, they automatically make a mistake on purpose, because the saying is the only person who is perfect is God. And so we aren't perfect, and it's okay to make mistakes. And that's what we will never not make a mistake. And so giving myself grace, the way that God gives me grace, allows me to give grace to others.
Right.
And a book that I read that has a really bad word in the title, so I'm not going to say it. Actually, it's kind of like a self-aware book. And I really liked it. And one of the things it talked about was expectations. And this light bulb went off. It had to have been over spring break last year. I was listening to it on an audiobook. And I thought, that's it. I not only put unrealistic expectations on myself, but I'm doing it to my family and to my friends and to my husband and to my girls. And oh my gosh, how do I stop this? Yeah. So the first thing was recognizing it. And now it's working on not doing that, and there's more joy.
Yes.
Sweet everybody, when you realize what you're doing. And so
say the name of the book, but just do bleep for this bad word.
I think it's called Unbleep Yourself.
Okay.
So yes.
Okay.
And it was good. It was really eye-opening. And it was talking about so I'm always kind of not talking myself down, but I'm always like, if someone says, what are your goals? And I say, well, I hope to do this, or I hope to do that. And I was like, no. I am going to do this. I am going to do that. Like, being self-aware and believing in yourself.
Right.
Because I have a hard time doing that too with my high expectations.
Right.
And so this book was really good about getting out of my own head and just, kind of being and recognizing all of that. So.
Awesome. You also mentioned a book, Present Over Perfect.
Yes.
You're reading that one right now?
I am. I only have a couple of pages to go. Yeah. But it's a really good one too.
Yeah. It is amazing how we get a mindset of being perfect. And the analogy I like to use is, excuse me, if when our children, your girls were 1 or so, and they were learning to walk, and they fall down. We would never, ever, ever thought of smacking them upside the head and say, what's the matter with you that you're not walking? And
Right.
when you started real estate, when I did, I wanted to know how to do it and do it perfect. The first, never have anything wrong with my transaction,
Right.
never miss the septic inspection, and all of those kind of things. And we don't allow ourselves to learn. And really, the grace that life is a continual learning if you're growing.
Right.
If you're not growing and not taking any chances of growth, like you were saying, minimizing your risk, then you're not going to mess up very much. But if you're going after things and wanting to encourage your girls to go after things, we have to allow our kids to fall down.
Yes.
And learn how to get back up. And we have to
Yes.
give ourselves permission to do that too, because perfectionism, what did you say? Your quote was, comparison is the thief of all joy. And
Yes.
I'm not supposed to be like you, and you're not supposed to be like me. And that's the reason why, one of the reasons I do this podcast is because women are just amazing and we don't know it. We know our girlfriends are, and we tell them they are. But when we look in the mirror, we criticize.
Mm-hmm.
When we mess up, we criticize. And I want to have this part of the movement to stop women from doing that we love ourselves and love our imperfections, if you will, because they make us unique. We were born originals. Let's not die a copy trying to compare ourselves to other people. So I love that message.
and I really work on that I have my older two daughters are 17 and 15, and my 15-year-old daughter is just like me. I can recognize, I'm grateful that I was able to recognize that shooting for perfection was something that I struggled with, and I could see it in her, especially in the middle school years. And I think I was grateful to see it in myself because I could recognize it in her and be able to help her now. So she's not a 40-year-old woman going, oh my gosh, what have I been doing all my life? I'm great. But yet I'm not allowing myself to know how great I am. So, I talk about that with her, and she's scared of failure too. And so I always talk about what's the worst thing that could happen, and we talk about the worst thing that can happen. And then we say, what's the best thing that can happen? And then we're like, okay, so the worst thing you could happen is that you fail, but did you give it your all? Be proud of that. And it's okay to fail. It's okay to fall down, because that's how you learn and that's how you grow. And I didn't, my parents are great, but I don't think they realized the struggle that I had with always wanting everything to be perfect, and the stress that I put on myself to get good grades, to get into college, to get a good job, and everything kind of just snowballed and was stacked on top of each other. And so I never had anyone say that to me.
Right.
And to recognize it in my girls, hopefully to break the cycle so that they grow up to know their worth earlier than I did, so they can know how amazing they are earlier than I did, so that they can advocate for themselves and be strong women while loving themselves and giving them grace. That's what I want for them. That is, I don't care what they do. They don't have to be the top CEO for anything. I would be fine if they stayed at home like I did. Like, just do something that you love,
right?
That you're proud of, that makes you happy, and just don't be so hard on yourself.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your story today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Any parting thoughts or wisdom that you have learned that you would like to share to those beautiful women that are listening to us?
I think I struggled a lot in my job with wanting to please everybody and not knowing my self-worth. And I got to a point where I wasn't afraid to ask for what I wanted. I wasn't afraid to say, this is who I am. This is what I will do. and there was a lot more. I found that I received a lot more respect by just stating, this is my worth. And if you can't realize that, if you can't see that, then this isn't where I need to be, and move on. Instead of being stuck somewhere that I wasn't happy, where somebody didn't respect what I could bring to the table and who I was as a person. And once I realized that, it was amazing, the doors that opened up and the path that I kind of moved on to in self-growth and also in business. And so I would just say, know your self-worth and believe in that, because that will take you far.
Awesome. That is great advice. Again, thank you very much for sharing your story and your wisdom today. If people wanted to reach out with you and make a memory in the new house or sell an existing house, how would they find you?
Yeah, I do have a Facebook page, Alison Kinsman Realty.
Spell your name for everybody.
Yeah, so it's Alison. My last name is Kinsman. I also have an Instagram, same name, Alison Kinsman Realtor. And my phone number is 644-5467.
Awesome. That sounds lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You have a great day.
Didn't you just love my conversation with Alison? Learning to love ourselves and let go of perfection is an ongoing achievement to go for. And I am so excited about my new mastermind, Maximize Your Brilliance. The website is MYB, as in boy, mastermind.com, and the link will be in the description for this podcast. This mastermind is for women who have a dream or a desire to do something more. But check out the website to learn all the details. There's a video there with me describing more information. So again, mybmastermind.com, coming in February. Don't miss out. There's still a few seats left. This is Donna saying until next time, live and love vibrantly.
Thank you for joining us on this powerful episode of the You Were Designed for Greatness podcast. Please share this with others who might enjoy it. For more info on Donna Tashton or to contact her, visit iVibrantLiving.com.